Evening. Well, I'm talking to you about engagement this evening, and really this is inspired by one of our drama teachers, not by anything that I started myself. At the last couple of Teachmeets I've been to or taken part in, we've talked about think tasks, so something to have projected on your board when kids come into the room that make them think about something that's either connected to somewhere you're going in the lesson or provides a stimulus so they've got the content covered. And this is an example of something I did from where I'm taking this in a moment. But that really just gives them something to do as they've come in so that they're calm and quiet and the people that are more prepared can get started straight away. And actually, what I wanted to know is what gets everybody in the room involved. So I came up with a new idea, and it was really inspired by a drama teacher here who I went to see teach. And she was playing a game at the start of her lesson, and I was kind of wondering why she was going on so long. And there was a couple of naughty boys there that just weren't joining in, and I was thinking, why aren't we moving on? And I was just sat patiently, and then I saw what she was doing, and it was really, really clever. She'd stayed with that until everybody was engaged. She waited until she noticed the competition had hit critical mass, and then everyone in the room couldn't help but follow. So I thought I'd give it a go, and this was my first attempt, and it didn't work perfectly, and I think that probably gives me a few evaluative points to make. So I decided that while I was teaching persuasive techniques, I would start my lesson with a game called identity spotting. And it was quite simple. I had in the top slide on the, I'm not good at directions, left, I had the rules on the board. The kids hadn't really settled particularly well in the room, but I decided to press on with the game because I thought the pressure from everybody else would get them going. The slide on the right, top right, was what I had printed on A3, and it is the key word, the key technique, a definition, and an example of it being used. And then a little code on the far left of that sheet. Everyone had a mini whiteboard, and I knew they'd know some of the techniques, but I knew I'd thrown in some that would be brand new to them. And instead of giving them time to learn it, I literally flashed up examples of them in use, and they had to identify it. The first round, like 2 or 3 people put their whiteboards up, but within 2 or 3 rounds, the whole class was involved, and the energy in the room was really, really vibrant. Which kind of brings me on to my next point. You don't always want all classes to be really noisy. And sometimes classes, once they're hyped up, are really hard to calm back down again. So I wanted to think about other ways of doing it where you maybe maintain a bit of control. So the whiteboards, if you don't have talking, mine was a group activity, so there was a lot of talking and everybody in the group had to have an answer. So there was a lot of pressure from one person on another. But if you do it as an individual or just pairs, then you've obviously got control of that noise level. Or a post-it note thing, so things like Ruth was talking about a moment ago, would mean that you could keep control of that seated, quiet way. And a couple of other games that I play to get people involved are things like Pointless, and here is a Macbeth version of it. And they have to come up with an answer, and you give them time to think, and you can again spread that out over just a 10-minute, or you could make it longer, 20, 30 minutes, depending on what input you give. But depending on the word they choose, they obviously then get a score, and the aim is obviously to get the lowest score possible. There's no pointless for one because actually they've been given quite a lot of input in the lessons running up to that beforehand. And the last one that I've got really to share with you is this Only Connect one, which works the opposite way round to the game show, in that the objective is to get all 4 connected if they can. Can't remember what text this is about now, but you could do it with any other subject too. And the idea is you could put 4 things. They could be really, 1 or 2 can be really obvious. Probably by the 4th one you want it a little bit random. I think this is mice and men. And the idea is they have to be able to connect all 4 words together with a concept. And for English or media teachers, you know, that conceptual understanding is where you get the A star. So that's how I now try to get everybody in my room 100% engaged, not 100% behaving appropriately, obviously, but they are on task the whole time, and it means that even my naughtiest students wants to compete and do well. Thank you.